what are the dates that are non-negotiable that you want to be home.
And then maybe talk with your colleagues about the dates that they really think are important to them. Think about, okay, well...
Unless they're all divorced and lonely, then you're screwed.
Wow.
Well, they still have families, so...
They may not have families. Hey, we know some asshole doctors, yo.
Oh, my God.
Shall we go through the list right now?
Listen.
Alfred, bleep this list out.
All right, Cardi B.
Hey, we talk about locum tenens a lot on this show. Renee and I, we've been doing it for well over 10 years now. So if you're curious about locum tenens and how it might fit into your career, check out locumstory.com. That's locumstory.com, and you'll see all the different reasons why physicians choose locums and how it works for them. Find out about jobs, taxes, travel, and to me, most importantly, pay. Visit locumstory.com to learn more. This episode is brought to you by Set for Life Insurance. Listen, docs, one of the first steps we took to pay off our student loan debt was realizing we paid way too much for our disability insurance. That all changed when we found Set for Life Insurance. They helped us with a customized insurance policy that met our needs and, most of all, budget. To learn more, check out setforlifeinsurance.com. Yo, what's good, everyone? I am your host, Dr. Nee. Welcome to another episode of Docs Outside the Box. We in the holiday season, so we are going to talk about working on the holidays. Got my co-host here.
Ho, 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 Dr. Renee.
You're a little early on that, though.
It's after Thanksgiving.
But it's not.
It's after Thanksgiving. After Thanksgiving, you can put your tree up. You know what? Let us know if you have your tree up.
Oof, if you have your tree up at this time?
Let us know if you have your tree up.
Well, we need to know. Actually, the question is how late do you keep your tree up when Thanksgiving, when Christmas is over, yo? Because I know in the Darko household, the tree don't come down till what, summer?
Valentine's Day.
No, it don't come down till like
no, it doesn't.
July,
no,
August.
It doesn't.
It's
no,
like,
it
yo,
doesn't.
why even take the tree down at this point? You know what I'm saying?
No, that's not true.
Listen, last year I tried to take the tree down, what, January? You're like, no.
It was January 1st.
No, that is not true. You're exaggerating.
Whatever.
I tried to take it down a little bit. Like I was like, all right, maybe the third week in January.
And who stopped you?
You did.
I did not stop. That's a lie, Nee.
Okay.
Why you be lying?
I think from now on, I'm going to have to start recording ourselves.
Oh, my God. Stick to recording this podcast because you be lying.
So, y'all, this is just a little brief window into Dr. Nee and Dr. Renee's house. Rather than laugh, we need your support, all right? That's how we do. And listen. If you're listening to this and it's right after Thanksgiving, we want to give a shout out to you because more than likely you probably worked on Thanksgiving.
Oh, damn.
Or you worked on Black Friday, either way.
Yeah.
But I remember back in the day doing my residency in Atlanta and then doing my fellowship in Miami.
You worked on Thanksgiving?
Yeah, my family's in Jersey. So, I didn't plan ahead at all. I didn't think about it. I was just trying to get through. So I think there was a couple of times where I had to spend Thanksgiving in Atlanta because I just didn't have the money, for it. As you all know, if you don't remember, I was house poor, yo. I had a townhome that I probably should never have gotten. So I could make the payments, but I didn't have money for anything else.
Yeah.
And then you throw on top of that, you just trying to survive. And, next the holiday season shows up and you're like, oh, shit, I don't have enough money to buy a plane ticket to go home. So those were some tough times. But there was a nurse, I'm not going to put her name out there, but she was amazing. You met her, remember?
Yeah.
She's from Haiti, and her family was beautiful. She had a big, beautiful family. She would invite me for Thanksgiving. It was right on the outskirts of Atlanta, and the dinners were amazing. Her house was amazing. Her family's amazing.
That Georgia.
Did she have Georgia? I don't remember. All I know is that she had macaroni au gratin. Oh, my God, it was great. The food, it was amazing.
She definitely had Georgia if she was having Thanksgiving. And
whatever she was, it was hitting. And it was great. And it was just one of those things that I look back on and I'm like, there were times where I was just kind of like, dang, I wish I was home. But she and her family really made it worthwhile.
Yeah.
So, y'all, that's what this episode is about basically is, listen, if you're working on the holidays, whether it's Thanksgiving or it's Christmas or it's New Year's or it's Hanukkah or it's Kwanzaa, whatever it is, and you have to work, sometimes you could be down on those days and stuff. And, we're here to kind of talk to you through that and kind of entertain y'all through that and stuff.
Yeah.
So for me, my family, Thanksgiving is the big thing, right? I don't care what anybody says. Like, we don't do all that. Like, all the Native Americans and the Pilgrim, we don't do any of that stuff. This is the time when our family is scattered. We get together and just, want to get together and just kind of just give thanks for just everybody still being here, or for those who ain't here, or for any new additions and so forth. And we go from there. And we hosted again. So you know how it is.
What do you mean we hosting? It's after Thanksgiving.
That's what I said. We hosted. Listen carefully. Come on, guys.
So this is how we do, yo. We spent our 10th wedding anniversary.
Yes.
Well, I spent our 10th wedding anniversary cooking for Thanksgiving. So let's not do that again.
Why not? You chose that date.
Excuse me?
Hey, guys, you chose the date of November 23rd.
What participation did you have in choosing the date for when we got married?
The deposit.
Get out of here, Nee. So that's even
I played
worse.
A role, all right?
I chose the date, and you basically solidified it.
Everybody, listen. Let's calm down. So for me, I don't care about July 4th. I don't care about all the other things. For me, Thanksgiving is when I don't want to work. And when I do have to work, I'm a little bit kind of depressed because that's when I'm missing out. How about for you? What are the dates that you...
For me, it's 2, but one takes priority, and that's January 1st.
Why January 1st? Why is January 1st a big deal?
So most people celebrate New Year's, which my family, we celebrate New Year's as well. But it is Haitian Independence Day. L'Union fait la force.
Okay. And what do y'all do on January 1st? That's such a big deal.
Oh, my God. So we have soup jumu, which basically is like a
Haitian propofol. Go ahead.
Put you to sleep.
Yo, y'all need to make a reel of this. Yo, I'm going to tell you something right now. Soup jumu, I don't know what y'all pulling at. If y'all put some propofol in there, some Versed, the curarun, whatever you put in there, hey, that puts you out. Damn!
It's so good.
You still have some frozen upstairs.
I do.
Yeah, I'm about to warm that up.
No, it lasts. Let me tell you, It does. But no, it's a great soup. You have all kinds of vegetables in it. Potatoes, yucca. It just has so much in it, but it's so great. And the thing about the soup is that is the soup that after the slave revolt in Haiti, that they made that soup. And apparently,
so you can't just gloss over that. So basically, the slaves whooped the French's ass, right?
Yes, and Napoleon got his ass handed
and then afterwards, the slaves were like, "Fuck this, we gonna have some really good soup afterwards." Is that what happened?
Yes. So Napoleon got his ass handed to him. Okay, he even had to sell the Louisiana territory because we was whipping his ass.
Okay.
So after he lost both Louisiana and Haiti, we decided that we were going to drink the soup. Now, apparently the soup has West African origins, is my understanding, which makes a lot of sense, right? But apparently also the enslaved were not allowed to drink that soup when they were enslaved. And so that was the really big, thing about... Yeah. Okay. Well, this forbidden soup that's ours anyway. We're going to drink the soup.
Not to take things lightly, but it's not drinking; it's eating.
It's eating. Well, we say drink.
Hey, this soup.
I'm translating. We say drink.
That's some gravy. Yeah. Well, listen, guys. Before we go on to the rest of the episode, let's go ahead and take a really quick break. We'll be right back. All right, y'all. This is Dr. Nee. I've been doing locum tenens trauma surgery for well over 10 years, and I haven't looked back since. Best combination of lifestyle and income that I could ask for. Now for you, your needs, your wants, that's going to be different than mine. Maybe you want more control over when you work or even how much you work. Or, look, you're just trying to make more money to pay off those damn student loans. Now the other thing is, pay attention. The average locums doc gets paid at least 33% more than your average employed doc. Got your attention now? So look, I get it. Sometimes the hardest part is, where do I start? you start your research at locumstory.com. Once again, that's locumstory.com. It's an unbiased educational resource about locum tenens. There, you're going to find stories about the different reasons why doctors choose locums and how it works for them. Locumstory.com has tools that let you explore locums pay, demand for your specialty, and even compare different locum tenens agencies. So look, stop sitting on the fence or just thinking about it. Start doing. Do your own research at locumstory.com. Once again, that's locumstory.com. It's easy. All right, we are back. You want to continue with the history lesson?
No, I think that's enough history for today.
Oh, let me tell you real quick. So at my residency program, because we were only 2 residents a year, we were a smaller surgery program. So we would. There's only so much that you can get away with, but there still needs to be coverage, right? That's the thing that I think med students need to understand going in is when you go into residency, like the show must go on. And in some form or fashion, there's going to have to be some sacrifice. Someone is going to have to work July 4th.
Yeah.
Someone is going to have to work Thanksgiving. Someone is going to have to work Memorial Day, all of these different things. So hopefully there's enough planning by your chief residents and are doing it in an equitable fashion so that people can get the days that they really cherish, they can get those off. But what we did was a little weird. So Thanksgiving, I forgot how they did with Thanksgiving, but definitely for Christmas and New Year's, we basically split the team up in 2. Half of the program was there for Christmas, and then for several days or a couple of days before Christmas, going into Christmas, and then the other half of the team was there for a couple of days before New Year's, and then going past into New Year's, right? It wasn't clean cut though, right? Because everybody had to be back by like June or January, like 2nd or 3rd. So if you worked Christmas and you were exhausted, let's like when you're on, like you're on. Someone has to be like there's a team that's for the days, there's a team for the nights, or excuse me, a small ragtag team for the nights, and you're done, right? After like 5 days, and then the next team comes, tag, you're it, and then you only get off, the first couple of days in January, and then you're back by January 3rd. That I didn't really like that, but those were kind of the sacrifices that we had to make. And I think right now, me as an attending, it's always like, I always try to think ahead and say like, what are my non-negotiables in terms of vacation, or excuse me, in terms of which days. And then I'll just go above and beyond and just say, hey, I'll work these things, these other holidays, just to make sure that there's no question that I got to have Thanksgiving as well as, that January off and stuff. So, thoughts on that? How far ahead do you plan?
So I try to think about, like I said, January 1st as kind of the rolling thing that I'm always going to be like, you can't put me on January 1st. Like I don't want to be working January 1st. The other is Christmas. Or not Christmas so much, Christmas Eve. That's kind of like my secondary. If I work Christmas or Christmas Eve, I'm not too hot about it.
Now that we have kids now, it's important for them,
right? It's important for them. But I could do Christmas, or I could do Christmas.
We could convince
Eve.
them that it's not that important, but
that's the other thing too. But I could do Christmas, or I could do Christmas Eve. Right now, I haven't done any.
That's because you are.
Because I'm locums. Yeah. So I don't have to work Christmas, and I don't have to work Christmas Eve. But when I was a resident, I actually would volunteer to do Christmas. And the reason I'd volunteer to do Christmas is because in my family, what we did was Christmas Eve. So we would open up our gifts on Christmas Eve. And, we'd have, most of our festivities then. And then I'd, wake up in the morning. I'd actually stay the night at my parents' house. And then in the morning, I would make my way back to New Jersey and go back to my residency program to go work on Christmas Day.
So you guys always did Christmas Eve even when you were a kid? Or was it Christmas Day? They switched because you were in residency?
When I was a kid, I remember we used to do Christmas Day.
Gotcha.
But I think as we got older, it just switched to Christmas Eve because everybody was like working on, people would be working on Christmas Day. So remember, my parents were in healthcare because they were lab technologists. So they, every now and then they'd have to work. My sister became a nurse. So that was that. I was in med school, so that was that.
Yeah, so more than likely there was a majority of people who were going to be working Christmas. That
yeah.
makes sense. But that's dope though, because I think that's really important that as a family you guys are amenable to changing things. I think the first time ever we had Thanksgiving the day after, I think, or the day before. I can't remember when was that. But they waited for me because I was in residency. I forget when it was, but that was great because I was like, dag, like you kind of feel special and stuff, you know? So I really, really appreciated that. But let's do this. Let's talk to the folks about, how they can make the holidays a little bit easier.
5 ways that you can make working on the holidays easier for you.
Yes. So step 1 is plan ahead.
Yeah,
right?
We kind of talked about that, yeah.
So the key things that I look at, and I wish I did, is that, listen, just know, like starting January or February, whenever you want to start thinking about it, what are the dates that are non-negotiable that you want to be home? You got to choose one. You got to have at least one of the times that you got to say, listen, I want to be home. Right. Now, for those who are from a different country or maybe they're on a visa, that's going to be really tough. Yeah. Particularly if you're on a visa and your family's not here. Right. That's tough, right? Yeah. Because now you're talking about, well, what time do I take off? I don't have any family here to even take time off. That's difficult. Yeah. But I think it's really important at least to just plan ahead and let your residency or even let, your attendings or your other colleagues know, like, hey, there's a certain date that I want off. I'm willing to, take 4th of July. I'm willing to take Juneteenth, or I'm willing to do whatever it may be so that I can have that time off. Yeah.
I think definitely pick a date that is most important to you, and then maybe talk with your colleagues about, the dates that they really think are important to them, because guess what? You're not the only one thinking about this, but if you all make a concerted effort to think about, okay, well,
unless they're all divorced and lonely, then you're screwed.
Wow.
Well, they still have families, so
they may not have families. Hey, we know some asshole doctors, yo.
Anyway, Nee, oh my God.
Shall we go through the list right now?
Listen.
Alfred, bleep this list out.
Okay. All right, Cardi B.
No, there's not that many assholes I know. There's quite a few, though.
Oh, my God.
They might be listening.
Anywho, like I said, ask your colleagues, because you're not the only one thinking about, the times that you would like off. But the thing is, you have to plan ahead, right? Yeah. So whoever is in charge of making your schedule, whether you're a resident, a fellow, or an attending yourself, you really should all just kind of sit down and think about who wants to be on the schedule when for which holiday.
And make sure you got the money to do it too, because don't be like me. It's like, yeah, I love Thanksgiving and all of this stuff. And then you get like, damn it, I waited like the month before and I got to pay my mortgage. I got to pay my housing association fees and all these things. And I ain't got like $300 and something to take AirTran or whatever it was back then. What was it?
Spirit.
They ain't have Spirit back then, but whatever it was to get back to Jersey, man. I ain't had the money.
If you take Spirit, you ain't going nowhere. So,
attention, Spirit Airlines passengers. We regret to inform you that we have no pilot for this flight. Our captain was arrested on a PPE loan scam. We are accepting people who were kind of good at Mario Kart.
Oh, if you're going to Spirit, you're going everywhere. You just ain't taking no bags with you.
You going everywhere. You probably going to the wrong place.
Nah, you going everywhere. It's just that you don't have anything else. You gonna buy all your underwear, all your toiletries is going to be at Walmart. Just know you're going to
be mad late. We're like, wait, it's not Thanksgiving. It's Thanksgiving of the following year? How I get it?
So plan ahead, not with choosing the dates, but also making sure you save enough money so that you can do and purchase the transportation that you need to, because it's important. Yeah. Number 2, create a positive workspace. So obviously this is for folks who may not be able to get that time away. Listen, go ahead and make it a nice spot or a nice space so that everybody can be in a positive place who can't be there. Not everybody can have all the time off. EMS workers, doctors, nurses, TSA, right? There's a lot of different people who even just have to work. Spirit works on those days. People have to work, right? Yeah. So If you have to work, then try your best to create a positive place where people can just feel and look forward to coming into work. So,
yeah, I mean,
some type of theme lunch or something like that.
Right, exactly. We kind of talked about in a previous episode, we talked about, nurses and how they always bring in food and things like that. And I would say, especially if you're a physician, oftentimes we're not the ones bringing in the food. But maybe this is a time where you do bring in something. Even if you don't have time to cook, maybe you just bring in like a dessert or something, maybe buy it or whatever. Or buy it, whatever. But,
let me ask you a question.
What?
So people who bake all the time.
Oh, boy. Here we go.
I want y'all to answer this question. People who bake all the time, isn't there a connotation that they can't cook?
I don't know, Nee.
Because I know people who, they bake all the time and they always bring baked goods. And I'm like, when are you going to bring something cooked? Like, cooked in? You can't cook, can you? So that's why you bake.
Okay. Well, I don't know, Nee.
Well, you don't bake.
No, I bake a little bit.
You can cook, but I know you don't bake.
I do bake.
You're not.
I baked you cookies the other day.
My son baked me cookies.
Oh, please. Okay. So that 6-year-old went and baked you a whole thing of cookies.
So what did he say when he gave me the cookies?
Anyway. So, we ready to continue? You digress.
We podding. Go ahead.
Okay. Very good. But anyway, like I said, so partake in that, right? Sometimes giving actually feels good, right? So, partake in that. Maybe you're not the best cook. Maybe you're not the best baker.
Yeah, don't do the buffalo dip.
Right.
I'm sick and tired of that, man.
But if you can contribute to whatever's going on at work, maybe ask the nurses like, hey, I'm going to be on this holiday. Do you guys know who's going to be on? Are you guys doing anything? And then that way you kind of feel like you're part of their festivities. So hopefully you have a good relationship with your nurses.
I hope so.
I hope so.
You better have a good relationship
I
with nurses.
hope so, or else you're going to be assed out.
Or you're going to have a problem with me. Because nurses are amazing. So
Yeah. So
except when they call you at 2 a.m. for potassium levels. You're like, come on, 2 a.m?
Yeah, but that means that you just didn't give good instructions.
Got him!
My nurses know when to call me. I don't get calls from nurses.
I don't know why at 3 a.m. I need to be called about a
You
low
didn't
potassium.
give good instructions.
Anyway.
Yeah, because my nurses never called me with anything less than something
you don't
important.
replace potassium. All right, you just deliver babies. Get out of here with this. Let's move on. Number 3, stay connected
emergent work than
by
replacing
technology, guys. Stay connected by technology. Cell phones, Apple iMessage or WhatsApp or Zoom, right? So a lot of times, especially during a pandemic, we did Christmas Eve with your family through Zoom, right?
Yeah, we did New Year's.
Was it New Year's?
Yeah, it was New Year's.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you're going to have to use some form of that to keep in contact with people, particularly if you have family that's overseas, maybe in Canada or in Mexico or in the Caribbean or, in other parts across the oceans and so forth.
Yeah.
You still want to stay connected with them. Technology is it's amazing. It's not how it was 15 years ago, 20 years ago. You got to use remember that? The calling card and stuff.
Oh, yeah.
Back in those days. Yes, please go ahead and use that. Zoom is your best friend at this
Yeah, I think this one is probably one of the most important and probably the most underrated because for me, I think you can use technology to really, really help connect you and not just like, oh, I could just call you on WhatsApp or whatever. Like, no, you can literally try to maximize on the technology, right? So, for example, when I was on call the last time, right, you were at my family's house and there was a little celebration for my brother, for my niece and nephew, right? And so I wasn't able to make it because I was working. Right. And so you called actually a couple of times, to be like, hey, what's going on? I called a couple of times. Hey, what's going on? Whatever. You could really just almost pretend like you're there. Right. So you don't need to call just once and be like, hey, I'm just checking in on everybody and just, Happy New Year or Merry Christmas. Keep calling. Keep calling. Get somebody in your family who's going to be the point of contact that every time you call, you're going to be there. Or go a step further, right? Have somebody set up a computer. If you have a Zoom account, have somebody set up a computer and just, kind of put you at the table or wherever you're going to be, and just call in several times as long as you need to, as many times as you need to. But that connection, I think, is really something that is going to be extremely important, so that you feel supported and you don't feel alone.
Good point. Let's go ahead and take another break. We will be right back. This episode is brought to you by Set for Life Insurance. Listen, docs, one of the first steps we took to pay off our student loan debt was realizing we paid way too much for our disability insurance. That all changed when we found Set for Life Insurance. They helped us with a customized insurance policy that met our needs and, most of all, budget. To learn more, check out setforlifeinsurance.com. Okay, we are back. So actually, I wanted to say something about that.
That's staying connected.
Staying connected, and like this all looks different than probably people thought it was going to look when they decided to go into medicine.
Oh, yeah.
I think a lot of people are very, like, at least me, like, you're very excited to become a doctor, or it may be for a nurse or whatever it may be. But then as you go through the process and you actually go to the point of no return, for some people that may be getting into nursing school and med school, others it may be in residency, others it may just be when you first sign that first promissory note for student loans, right? There's a point of no return when you look back and you're like, oh shit, this is what I signed up for. And it's okay, guys. It's just that you have to make it look differently.
Right.
There's going to be a lot of times when you're not going to be able to participate in things or in the way in which you normally participated in your family. And, there's a point where it's just not going to look the same anymore. But it's important to understand that, this is a field that, we do things that other people don't. We go to danger or harm, or we're in harm's way all the time when others aren't. But also at the same time, there's a lot that I've gotten back from it. And I think there's a lot that a lot of people have gotten back from it. It just looks different. And as long as you're able to kind of be open to just being malleable and amenable to just, giving up a holiday here or maybe giving up a holiday there or whatever it may be, you can make it work. Medicine is still dope, but it's going to look different, folks.
It's a lot of sacrifice. But like you said, you got to stay flexible.
So number 4. Plan for self-care after work, right? So, you may work Thursday.
Go get your nails did.
You may work
nails
Black Friday.
Done, hair done.
You may work Christmas or New Year's, but it doesn't mean that the next day, you may be down and out. So you may just want to just go out and just do something for yourself. Yeah. That may be, like you said, vegging out in front of the TV and letting the TV watch you. Or it may be getting yourself a nice pair of Jordans on a sneakers app, which you ain't going to get, right? Because that stuff is always sold out, right? Or, like you said, it may be a mani-pedi if you're into that.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I think that's important, right? I mean, because you work hard and you feel like you've sacrificed something. So, you want to feel like there's some sort of reward for what you've done.
There's got to be a carrot.
Right. There's got to be that positive feedback. And, hopefully your patient's doing well might be a positive feedback. But we also know that sometimes working in the hospital can be very, very tough. So maybe that's not the place where you should be solely looking for your positive feedback.
Yeah, I think you could end up it's like this this cycle that you get on if your only fulfillment or feedback that's positive is from the hospital.
Yes.
If there's nothing that you have to decompress. Yep. It's a tough place to be in, right? Because we all have things that we need to plug in, hobbies or whatever it may be that we need to feel like, we still human.
Right. Right.
And the people outside of that are not doctors. So it's going to force you to kind of interact with people in a different way. And I think that's really important.
Yeah. So, make sure that you take care of yourself, sleep, make sure you sleep.
It's okay to sleep. It's okay to exercise. Right. It's okay to do something that you really enjoy doing afterwards.
Exactly. Give yourself the care that you deserve after you done gave everybody else all the care. Then now it's time for you to take care of yourself.
Number 5, stay positive, y'all.
Yeah.
Boom.
Yeah, the holidays
I think that speaks for itself.
Yeah, the holidays can be really hard.
Yeah.
The holidays can be really, really hard for people. And I think, with as many physicians out there who are experiencing burnout, and just being a person in general, who is working really hard, who's trying their best, maybe missing their family, maybe lost loved ones around the holidays, it can be tough to stay positive, but always know that, life is just kind of, it comes in a circle, right?
Yeah, and I think bad times are usually in a season.
Yeah.
Right? That's easy for us to say, though, right? But if you're in a funk and you can't get out of it, I get it. The way how I used to look at it a lot is, I think one of the attendings told me this. He was like, listen, you could be a patient. You know what I'm saying? That you could be a patient in this situation.
And on a trauma service, that right there.
Say less.
Less.
And once he said that, I was like, damn, I got people with open abdomens and thoracotomies.
This could be
and
you.
Diverticulitis and colons coming out. I'm like, yo, that's a good point.
Yeah.
So a lot of times I'll say that to my residents when they're like, when it's a tough like case, or if it's, a tough several weeks. I'm like, look, man, look, you could wake up, on a patient bed, or, you have another chance to affect life and be positive about it. So you might as well just take the latter.
Well, what's really funny, when we were first year residents, I remember me and one of my co-residents, we used to look at the pregnant patients and be like, I wonder what it's like to be them.
And now you on the other side and you're like,
oh my God, I didn't realize they had to take all these gremlins home with them.
So that's why you take those. See, remember I asked you about those weekends when you're like at work and it's quiet and nice, you get them mani-pedis, all those different things.
Stay positive, guys. And, if you are having a tough time during the holidays, which a lot of people do, please, please, please seek help. Go see a therapist. There are hotlines that you can call. Alfred, if you can
put that on there.
Put the suicide prevention hotline.
We'll put it in the show notes also so people can,
Yeah.
Because I think it's sometimes, let's be honest, like,
it's easy to say be positive.
It's very easy to say be positive. And the show, it has, like, we have to make sure that we're cognizant of a whole bunch of different things.
Yeah.
And some of it, like you said, like, it's not easy just to put a smile on your face or just say, be positive. Like, sometimes it's like you said.
Yeah.
You need some help.
Yeah. But know that, no matter
and that's
what
all right, guys. That's fine.
Yeah, that is fine. And just know that, what you're doing for other people is very helpful. As the doctors that you are, whether you're in training or whether you are in full-fledged practice. So just know that you are an asset and people appreciate you, whether they show it or not.
I think we should leave it at that.
Yeah.
But listen, we appreciate you all, each and every one of you all who is listening to us through whatever podcast directory you're listening to us, or on YouTube. We appreciate you riding with us from day one, from 7 years ago all the way till now. Has it been 7 years? It could be close to 8 years now.
Yeah, you're going to be close to 8.
It's a long time, but we appreciate each and every one of you all. And I really want you all to know that, without you guys, there would be no show. So
there would be no Docs Outside the Box.
Make sure you connect with us through text messaging or hit us up at team@drneedarko.com or hit us up on Instagram.
Yeah.
Let us know your thoughts. Let us know what you're doing for the holiday season, and we can connect.
Cool.
All right, y'all. We'll catch you guys on the next episode right here, same place, YouTube, or whatever app you're using on your podcast. We'll catch you guys on the next one, y'all. Peace. Happy holidays.
Are you stuck?